This week on Point of Impact, my brother Jesse tries to go out and shoot a buck with his bow. Unfortunately, he doesn't get the chance to, so he's willing to settle for a doe. You also get to watch Siera as she hunts one of the main bucks on our farm for this year. We've seen this deer for 3 or 4 years now. We've been watching him since he's a 1.5-year-old, and he's always had this kicker off his left main beam. That's why we called him the extra main beam buck. Last year he was a 3.5-year-old, probably a 140 to 145 inch buck. And this year he really has not grown a whole lot, but we know he's fully mature. He's a 4.5-year-old. So stick around and see if Siera can get the job done.
Point of Impact is brought to you by Under Armour. Go where you don't belong. Rage, the revolutionary rear-deploying expandable broadhead. Big Game Tree Stands. Rock solid. Nocturnal lighted knocks. Bass Pro, the granddaddy of all outdoor stores. Muddy Outdoors. And McBee Custom Homes.
It's the evening of November 5th. It's a little warmer than it's been the past couple days, especially this past weekend. It was really cold. It's about 64, 65 degrees with south wind, which usually isn't the best for my farm anyways. But we're out here trying to stick it out. You know, bucks are moving, looking for does. And there really isn't a bad time to be out on the stand. You can't kill one from the couch, so we're out here again trying to get it done. If you notice the mustache on my face, it's a new style I'm going with. It's what happens when you let someone else do your face paint. So, we'll see if it brings me luck tonight. If it does, I'm gonna have to start wearing it from here on out, or actually grow my own, which I don't know if I can grow this good a facial hair, but we will see. So, hopefully we have something moving tonight. Let's see what happens. Kind of a windy day, but that's okay. We're sitting here in the timber and the rut just kicked in, so we have several good trail cams of a nice 10-pointer with extra main beam coming off the side. So we know he's here. The rut just kicked in, so hopefully he'll come out and I can get a shot at him. And if not, gun season's just around the corner, so might get done then too.
Set up and waiting patiently, we finally had a nice young 8-point come strolling behind our stand. We had to move slowly though because there was actually another younger buck that came in the field in front of us.
It's always fun seeing deer, but as all of us hunters know, you always have that doe or smaller buck that stands right there 20 yards away for hours and doesn't let you move. And that's exactly what this buck was doing to us. He was standing right in the clearing, looking our way, and so we couldn't turn around and really check out this nice young 8-point that had walked in behind us. This stupid younger buck laid down in the field 20 yards away from us, right in the wide open to where we couldn't move at all. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a good look at the nice young 8-point that had walked in behind us.
That was pretty cool. We've seen a couple little bucks tonight. Not quite what we're looking for, but that's okay. Because gun season's right around the corner, and I'm really excited to see my 308, and hopefully we can get the job done then.
Point of Impact is brought to you by Under Armour. Go where you don't belong. Rage, the revolutionary rear-deploying expandable broadhead. Big Game Tree Stands, rock solid. Nocturnal lighted knocks. Bass Pro, the granddaddy of all outdoor stores. Muddy Outdoors, and McBee Custom Homes.
If you're just joining us, Siera is going after a buck that we call the extra main beam buck. We've had trail camera pictures of this deer throughout the summer and even into the fall. She didn't see him throughout bow season though, and with rifle season coming up, I feel like she has a really good chance of getting him. But first, let's go to Jesse and see if he can knock one down on his own.
Over here at the Red Barn House, up over a little spot, the little alfalfa spot. It's surrounded by timber. It's a little windy out, so it should be a good spot for these mature does to come here and lay down low. We're hoping a couple will come in, might even see a good buck, so you never know. We'll see what happens.
Well, it wasn't too long before we seen this buck that's been coming out into this field all the time. Unfortunately, he's just a little bit young, so we gave him the pass. At first, we thought it was this buck that we call Split Brow, who's an absolute stud that we've been hunting for 5 or 6 years now. Not too long after the bucks left the field, a few does came in. And knowing that those bucks weren't mature enough to shoot, Steven and I decided that if a doe came into range, she was going to get an arrow flung at her. During the early season, we're always excited to punch that first tag, so if a big mature doe walks by, chances are she's getting shot at.
Now this doe was beelining right for us. I told Jesse just to wait a minute so I could get a range on her. And when she was at 45 yards, I was trying to decide whether she was going to come in or not and whether I was going to have Jesse take the shot or not. And I went ahead and told him to wait just a minute to see if she comes any closer. And luckily she picked her head up and started coming right at us. And she ended up turning broadside at 25 yards.
Right, yeah. Well, 30 yards. You said 30 yards? 30 yards. Had a doe out here. Popped out. It's about 6:40. Had a couple of nice bucks come here earlier. Didn't know if some does were going to come out or not. I'm still breathing hard. I don't know why I'm so nervous about this. The fawn's still out there, but I think I made a decent enough shot on her. She should be in there, hopefully dying on us. We'll see. We'll wait a little bit and then go get her. Let's go see if we can't find her. Looks like it should be good blood. Is that a white belly? Hey, there she is. Yeah, baby. There's a white belly right there. Well, we finally got her dragged out of the timber. She didn't go but 30, 35 yards from where I last shot her. We can't be too loud in here because This is a real good buck spot too, so we don't want to scare away. We're trying to be as quiet as possible and make it quick as possible. These rage hypodermics, I'll tell you what, the shot was a little high, it is still. It just tore it up. Oh, Hoyt did the job. It's a good start to the season.
Point of Impact is brought to you by Under Armour. Go where you don't belong. Rage, the revolutionary rear-deploying expandable broadhead. Big Game Tree Stands. Rock solid. Nocturnal lighted knocks. Bass Pro, the granddaddy of all outdoor stores. Muddy Outdoors. And McBee Custom Homes.
With me killing a doe earlier in the season, I really wanted to get Allie on a doe, so I sent her out with Cole to see if she could get on one.
Here we are again. It's still muzzleloader season. We're out here hunting over a pretty good beef plot. I'm gonna try and get me on my first doe tonight. We'll see what happens. Okay, so we're about midway through our hunt. Haven't seen anything yet, but it's about to be prime time, so hopefully someone will come out and start eating.
Steve and I set up this blind right at the edge of this bean field where we've been seeing a lot of deer coming to it every night. And just like we planned, a doe stepped out right before dark and gave Allie a perfect shot. We all know how nervous you can get when you're shooting at a deer for the first time. I even still get nervous, so I'm gonna give Allie a little break here. It might have been just a hair out of range and she missed just a tad bit low, but she stuck with it and went out with Cole just a couple nights later.
We had a buck step out about a 160 class 10 point, call him high rise. Haven't seen him in a while, but he stepped out tonight and he's just too far for muzzleloader. But now we know that he's alive. We're gonna get him next year.
Unfortunately, Allie did not get a doe this year, but we got her hooked on bow hunting, so hopefully we'll be able to let her sling an arrow at a doe next year.
Okay, well, it's about 1 o'clock. We're gonna go out there. They should be moving early. It's kind of chilly out, so it's a second weekend. We'll see what we can do.
You ready to kill big buck?
Heck yeah!
Let's go. The tower stand I eventually took Siera to was a spot where I had been watching the buck over the summer. It was a really good bean field that was overlooked by a big timbered ridge. And Cole had been sitting here for 3 or 4 days in a row and hadn't seen anything big moving around. And so he decided to go hunt another spot, and I told Siera, you know, I guarantee that buck's gonna be around there sometime or another. So we decided to head on in there and see if he couldn't step out.
We appreciate you watching Point of Impact exclusively on the Pursuit channel. Be sure to visit our website at www.pointofimpacttv.com. Here you have the opportunity to see photos, videos, visit our sponsors, get to know our crew, shop for our latest Point of Impact gear, and even linked to our social media platforms. So join the conversation and always be up to date with the Point of Impact team.
Here we are. We got in here pretty quietly. It's about 1:30, and I mean the sun's out, but it's pretty chilly out here. We are hunting over a timbered ridge that dumps down to a big bottom bean field that we watched several good bucks out here over the summer, and we're hoping they're still around chasing some doe, so we'll see what happens.
Running trail cameras is one of my favorite things to do throughout the summer and even into the fall. And we had plenty of pictures of this buck. I mean, when he was 3.5, we had pictures of him almost every time I checked the trail cameras, and even up until he was 4.5. We had a ton of pictures throughout the summer and into the fall of him. Along with running trail cameras, we love scouting in person during the summer as well. We'll go sit in our tower stands throughout the evenings and look over big bean fields to see which deer are coming out and which prospects we have to hunt this fall. Here we are, July 20th, 2013. The start of another deer season. We usually like to get out and do some summer scouting. We have a field that's real good. First time I've been able to walk in 3 weeks. I had surgery from a football injury, so I'm itching to get out there. Let's see what happens.
You know, it can definitely be tough going out there and not seeing anything, but there's nothing like being surprised by the buck you've been hunting after all year. And that's exactly what happened tonight.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. See, he's a shooter. He's a shooter.
Oh, I knew he was a shooter right off the bat, and then once I put my binocs up to look at him, I knew that was the buck we had been chasing. We spent numerous hours looking at him through trail cam pics, and I had his rack memorized by heart.
Are you on him? Okay. As you can see from this video, there is a big time difference between hunting just as a regular person and also hunting with a camera. This deer stepped into the field, and normally we'd have been all over shooting him within the first 5 seconds as soon as he stepped into the field. But since I had a camera, I wanted to make sure we had enough film to make this story good enough to use for television. And so I kept telling Siera, I was like, just wait. And she was wanting to shoot it as soon as she got the scope on him. And he ended up walking a little bit out into the field and presented her with a perfect shot opportunity. Put it right on his shoulder and I'm gonna stop him.
Hang on.
Tell me when you're ready. Are you ready? Take him.
Good shot.
Dude, that's the biggest buck I've ever shot. We're just sitting here. I have my shoes off, my feet in Steven's coat because my feet are cold, and we're just sitting here. I didn't see hardly anything, and then he just comes walking out. Oh my gosh. I was beyond excited to get this buck on the ground, and it was killing me because Steven was making me wait to go down there and finally get my hands on him.
Siera just smoked the extra main beam buck, and we seen him fall in the field. Now let's go check him out.
That's him, all right. Good job. This is a buck that I scouted during the summer. Sorry,
It's so cold out here.
Like 25 degrees.
We're freezing. But it was all worth it. We got him. He's a good buck for sure. Great buck. She put a great shot on him. He's a buck I passed up last year, and he's just a real good buck. I think he's 4.5.
Oh, there's a kicker off the...
Yeah, he's got an extra kicker off the base there. It's so cold. It's so cold.
Here we are, morning after we got this big buck all cleaned up. I shot him last night, and it was, after I shot him, it got a little dark on us, and it was really, really cold, so we couldn't do much with him, so we're back today. We cleaned him all up, and he looks pretty good. Yesterday, it was crazy. I mean, came out 60 yards, and only for like 15 seconds, and then I ended up shooting him. Steven kept telling me to wait because we didn't have enough footage of him. Steven ended up passing him up last year, and so we scouted him, watched him all summer long, had trail cams of him. We went out and watched him, and we're finally able to get on him this year. So, great way to end a great buck, so pretty proud.
What an awesome hunt and an awesome buck. Just doesn't get much better than that.